Well, welcome back to Suburban Homesteader WY-AZ, Arizona. It is Thursday morning, so we're making vanilla bean recipes. And today we're doing two different things. The first thing we're going to do are Rice Krispies, but we're going to take it up a notch. And we're actually putting vanilla beans in there. If you didn't have vanilla beans, you could add 2 teaspoons of your vanilla. But we have vanilla beans, and I'm going to show you how I make Rice Krispies on the stovetop. They're so delicious. The flavor is incredible. When we get done with the Rice Krispies, we're going to make another Christmas holiday bar that I think you'll really enjoy. So Rice Krispie bars with vanilla beans. It's just a different twist on it, and the flavor is great. And of course we're using marshmallows, butter. We're going to use some sprinkles, some vanilla beans, the Rice Krispies, and we're going to cook it on top of the stove. Now, if you didn't have vanilla beans, add some vanilla, about 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And we are going to start with a very large stock pot, and I'm going to just pour the 6 cups of Rice Krispies into this bowl, just over to the side, so that when the marshmallows are melted, I can pour them right in and I don't have to take time measuring them. And it's just helpful. So let's start with the butter. We need 3 tablespoons of butter. And I have my little chart. We're going to mark it. And I'm going to have that on about a medium-low heat right now. Once the butter's all the way melted, we will turn it down just to low. So it's starting to melt, and it's time for me to take the vanilla beans. So I've already sliced them, and I'm going to scrape them in there. We're just going to scrape as much as we can, and I'll go over it a few times because we're not putting the actual bean, the outside in there, so I want to get as many of the little tiny seeds as possible. And we're just gonna use the back side of our knife as always, because we never want to cut ourselves when we're doing this. And you can see they just come out really easily, and then you can just pop them down onto the butter. Now here all the butter is melted, and I'm going to take a vegetable spray and spray my spoon. It'll just help when I'm melting the marshmallows. Now there's a lot of vanilla bean seeds down in there. The butter is not burning. It's on low heat. I just want to stir that just a little bit before I start adding the marshmallows in there. And for some reason the marshmallows want to stick in this bag, but we're just going to put them all in there. At this point, I have to stir all the time. Now, I know a lot of people just pop everything in the microwave. That's not right or wrong. But when I add the vanilla to the bars, it's better if I heat it on the stove. So it's almost all the way melted. See those beautiful vanilla bean seeds in there? Just fabulous. It's going to give it such a great flavor. And I just have to stir it just a little teeny bit more. And I just kind of try to break up those marshmallows. And when it's melted, then it's time to add the Rice Krispies. And then I'm just going to stir that. It does get very thick. If you're stirring your Rice Krispie bars and you have all the Rice Krispies incorporated and there's still a lot of marshmallow, add more Rice Krispies. Because you want the flavor to have a good ratio of combination. And then we're going to put that, I'm going to spray that glass pan, and I'm going to put my Rice Krispies in there. Now it's very sticky, and you can spray your spoon one more time if that can help you. Sometimes people will butter their fingers, and they just dump it in there and press it into the pan. Totally up to you. But I'm just going to take as much out of the pan as I can. I'm spraying my spoon one more time so I can just finish pressing that down. I want to get all the way into all the corners and to have it really pretty even. Now I like sprinkles on my Rice Krispies, but Joe does not. So I'm taking a piece of saran wrap and I'm going to just cover half of it. So when I put the sprinkles on, it doesn't go into Joe's half. And he just doesn't care for them. But it's the holidays, and I think you should have sprinkles on things. So I'm just going to take a few. I'm not going to go crazy, but I'm just going to sprinkle them all over. And then I always like to let my Rice Krispies set up a little bit before I cut them. So this is just a little twist on a Rice Krispie recipe that you might be making this holiday season. I waited a little bit and I cut them, and I just love the little sprinkles on there. Very festive and a very Merry Christmas. Now our second bars today is cherry peach pie, but they're Christmas bars instead of just the pie. We're going to use 1 cup of butter, 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 2.5 cups of flour, and 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt for the crust. And I put the sugars and the butter in the bowl, and I'm just going to mix those up. Now obviously I did not wait enough time for my butter to get in room temperature, so I'm going to take that bowl and I'm going to put it in the microwave for 10 seconds. In the meantime, I'm going to spray my 13 by 9 pan. I have my oven on at 350 degrees. Oh, see, that's much better. I can just blend those all together. And the idea is you want to really cream them. That is a secret of not just bars, but cookies also, to cream the butters and the sugars together before you add anything else. So I need my kosher salt, and I'm putting 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt in there. I'm going to mix it with the flour just for a second. It'll just incorporate it a little bit more. And then I'm just going to slowly add that mixture in and mix, add some more, mix again, add some more. Now what I want to come up with is this crust that's really granule. And so I'm going to dump that in, and I have sprayed that pan already. And so we're going to just press that all in there. And I'm going to just put it from corner to corner. I want to make sure that it's really pretty even at this point. But I also, once I get it all the way across the bottom, I'm going to start pressing, and I'm going to press so that it comes up the sides too. So it makes a crust. And I'm just going to take my time. Anytime it cracks, I'm going to press it. And the more you press it, the heat from your hands actually warms up that butter, and it really makes a great crust. Now for the filling, I need 1 can of peaches, 1 can of dark cherries, 1 can of peach pie filling, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, 2 vanilla beans, regular vanilla, and salt. So I'm going to drain those. And I'm not going to use the juice from the cherries or the slices of peaches. Now I can leave those peaches at that size, but because the filling will have sliced peaches in, I'm going to cut those peaches up while it drains. And the peaches will just incorporate more throughout the bars then. And so it takes only a few minutes to cut them up. If you wanted to cut the cherries up too, you could. But I think there's probably enough, and I don't need to. Now I'm just using that same bowl. I'm just going to take all of my pie filling out. Now you could do this same recipe with apple pie filling. I'm going to mix my other fruit in there and just incorporate it so everything is coated with that pie filling. It's turning beautiful, you know. The cherries will give it a great color. I'm adding the brown sugar. And with this part, I just really add and then I mix. Add and then I mix. Because I want it really incorporated. I need my cinnamon. I'm going to sprinkle that all over the place. You can stir right now, or you can just wait until you're done with the salt and the vanillas. Totally up to you with this part. I'm adding my regular vanilla. And then we're going to, of course, add our vanilla beans. We split them in half. We're scraping them again. The actual bean part is not, the outside will not go into this one. And then I'm going to mix one more time. And when I think it's incorporated enough, then it's time to pour it into that crust. Now remember, our oven is already at 350 degrees. It's already ready. So as soon as I get the topping done, it can go right into the oven. At 350 degrees, it will take you about an hour to cook this. So we're just spreading that all over. We want it even. Now the topping. 3/4 cup of butter, melted. 1.5 cups of flour, 1 cup of walnuts, 1 cup of brown sugar, and a half a teaspoon of kosher salt. Now I did clean the bowl up, so I didn't want anything to stick. So we have the flour, the brown sugar, the nuts, and we're going to incorporate those all in together. I'm going to sprinkle the salt over top of that, mix it, and then as soon as my butter is melted, I can add that in too. There we go. We're going to incorporate that and see how it starts to change. It starts to become crumbly, and that's exactly what you want. Then you're going to just take your hands and you're going to crumble it all over. Now, it's a lot of crumble on top, but you want that because when the bars are cool, you want them to stay together. And now it's ready to go in that 350-degree oven for about an hour. I'm setting my timer. And this is our finished product. Can you hear it bubbling still? Oh yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so Joe is the taste tester. He's smelling it. He doesn't know what it is. It's cherry peach pie bars.
Oh, that sounds good, baby.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Joe, and it's still pretty warm. So just be careful when you bite into it, and let's see what you think.
You got ice cream in there, you know.
I know, we could put ice cream on there.
Later. This might take a few minutes. That's good.
Thanks, Joe.
That's real good, baby.
Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed both the Rice Krispie bars with vanilla beans in it and this cherry peach pie bars. And when it cools, it's much firmer, but who can wait for that? As always, like, subscribe, share with the world. I will see you next Thursday. Enjoy. So good. You're right, I need ice cream.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.